What's up, everybody? I am Steve Mattias, and with me tonight is Justin Ashcraft. Justin, we are talking about the Hounds after the semifinals. Man, how you doing?
Oh man, I am buzzing. I like this weekend has been wild
Mm-hmm.
in every way and other than the Hounds. So I'm training for a half marathon uh coming up in 2 weeks, which I thought would have no implication for the Hound season. But it is the day of the final, and the final is at noon that day. So I better run
Mm-hmm.
that half marathon real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If the Hounds somehow pull out the win this weekend against Rhode Island. And so that Hounds game on Saturday, which was yeah, I have no words.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I got to watch Gotham beat KC, who had basically done to the NWSL what Louisville did to the USL this season, and they beat everybody and by wide margins, and somehow Gotham pulled out a 119-minute winner in extra time to win the game. So twice now I've gotten to see teams pull out crazy games.
That is so fun most of the time. There've only been a couple times in my life where the team that's number one and gets knocked out is heartbreaking. Most of the time, it's like, yes, love watching those underdog. Yeah, no, I mean, it has been a wild, a wild day, like leading up to last night, like looking forward to the game, going to the game, being at the game. Just the environment was absolutely insane. Tuffy had tweeted yesterday, earlier in the day, that it was going to be the biggest crowd in Hounds history. And I was skeptical. No, man, I mean, it was just as packed and felt just as packed as the Columbus game a couple seasons ago. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. I mean, so there for the game, I mean, hanging out, like just a ton of fun, and get home. And it's just like, I could not fall asleep. So Drew and I were texting at like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning, just like, dude, I am so tired, but like, I cannot stop thinking about this and enjoying this. Like, it is so surreal. So Justin, you know what that means, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely know what that means.
Okay, we were weak. Where is Josh when we need him?
Sorry. It's a probably semi-flat cherry Coke from the
Okay.
discount grocery store.
All right.
So what are you drinking tonight?
I got a Fermata beverage. Their All American IPA, which is it's one of my favorites. So, well, I mean, hey, we'll get into this. Let's see what Laura Ellen has to say.
And now, hey sir, 1-minute reactions with Laura Ellen.
Is this real life? I am functioning on 0 sleep. Is this real life? I am speechless. I don't even... What? Okay, we're doing it. Okay. Also, we need to score in regular time. My heart cannot take it anymore. No more. Regular time scoring. Oh my word. We did it. I mean, and by we, I mean they. Oh my word. Let's go Hounds!
This has been Hey Sir, 1-minute reactions with Laura Ellen.
So my reaction to that is just like, that is like the reaction that I think most fans had when they actually settled in. And I think it's the reaction that a lot of the players had, that they were just like, yes, we did it. Like, it's one of those moments where I wish you all were still back here in Pittsburgh, because the conversations that I was having with the players after the game, like, I would have loved for Laura Ellen to be there in those conversations like we used to do, and just be like hearing like the guys talk about just how free and light they feel, right? Like how much fun they're having, that they're here for it. They're just like, yeah, they are having a blast. And so it is just a ton of fun being in that environment. And so, yeah, I mean, she's your wife. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the absolute pure shock that these last two games have been for long-term Hounds fans. And listen, I'm not decrying any of you who have not been around that long or have been around the last 3 or 4 seasons. I'm so glad you're around. Like, that is it please. I love new fans, and I love that the Hounds continue to gain fans, and that's why we're able to expand the stadium and all that kind of stuff. Please, I love it. But for those of us who dealt with the Dave Brandt era and have watched teams barely pull out wins against some of the worst teams that the USL Championship has ever seen, it is the pure elation that I feel right now is just, it's ridiculous. I felt like I could have gone out and run 3 miles last night at 10 o'clock after the game ended, because it was like, what do I do with all this energy that I have stored up right now?
Yeah, well, and I want to add some like context for newer fans if they don't know, right? Like, this is the first time, last night's game, the first time that the Hounds have ever hosted a conference semifinal, and they've only made it a handful of times before and have lost every time, twice in the past 8 years, and we've made the playoffs every year in the past 8 years. So to have the game at home, to get the win, and then for Rhode Island to get the win over North Carolina, which means we're hosting the conference final next week. Like, it is just so surreal. So let's actually get into the game. And as we do that, let's see. There's a moment we got to have, right? Like I wonder what Mondo has to say about this. But because we talked about this last time, Mike wasn't here. I don't have all the editing capabilities, so we're just gonna do this in real time. Mondo, give me your moment.
Hello. I'm sorry. I just lost all audio for the briefest of moments. But this week's Mondo moment comes to us from the city of Pittsburgh. The city of Pittsburgh. Because you know what? If you build it, they will come. And you know what this city of champions desires more than anything else? This city of champions desires champions. And it's been a minute since we've had some champions. So thank you for showing up. By the way, record turnout. We don't need an MLS team to have a record turnout at Monongahela Stadium. All right? We get that all on our own. So this is the way. And
this is great. This is great. So I think what most people don't know is usually when Mondo is doing his moment, like, we're sitting there watching it with the rest of you, right? But we are all reacting to it in real time behind the scenes. So to actually be reacting on screen definitely feels a little strange. But Drew, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Hold on. Let me. Oh God. Okay.
Oh, you're much crisper now.
Yeah. Oh God.
The audio is definitely better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes all of the difference. It really does. But here, let me help you guys out really quick first, because I never get to do this.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
I never get to do that. But there we go. I apologize. My mother called me right as you guys switched to me. The most perfect timing.
Let's talk about this game, guys.
Yeah, seriously, let's talk about it.
I have one more Mondo moment. I apologize. I sent you a picture.
Oh, I didn't see it. I never got it.
Picture on Slack, and I told you would need it.
Oh, I did. I forgot about it.
And so to preface this, those of you who are old enough will know what this is. And those of you who are not old enough, well, you're about to learn what this is. So showing up at the stadium was a Point Park soccer player taking pictures with his DSI, and he had a picture. And so that's my other personal Mondo moment, because I am a giant nerd, and there's been this like semi resurgence of older dare I say, vintage technology in the wild.
Mhm.
And I just get like a little excited every time I see a Nintendo DS or a 3DS, just like
Well,
wild.
Mondo, I mean, let's let everybody see it.
Yeah. So that's
Like-
that is the picture that we took on the 3DS or on the DSi on the DS. I mean, because I was that
fantastic.
excited about it.
It's
I asked for a
fantastic.
picture.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
We
So,
are all nerds, so that type of stuff I think gets us all going. I love it.
Yeah. So big shout out to Tommy Bova or Bava. I'm not sure how to say your last name. I apologize if I butchered it, but big shout out to you, Point State Park.
That's fun. It's fun that college players are coming out to these games as well.
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
Well, guys, let's start here. I obviously was not there yesterday. Though I enjoyed the game from the comfort of my living room. Was not obviously in the stadium. So tell me a little bit about atmosphere in the, I don't know, 7 to 12 hours leading up to the game that people were probably in the parking lot.
I only arrived 4 hours before kickoff.
Only. It was still daylight when you got there, at least.
Right. I normally arrive between 3 and 4, and that seems to be working. So I didn't see the need to show up early and perhaps throw off the mojo.
Yep. I'm with you.
So,
yeah.
So, but it was still rocking. There was cider. There was hot chocolate. The Steel Army was having a good time, and it did seem a little bit light in the parking lot. So there was a lot of concern that did we really sell out?
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you, man, because by the time I got there about an hour and 45 minutes before kickoff. You were long gone inside already. I don't know what you were doing, but I was trying to find
in the tailgate zone.
And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, he's already inside." And I was like, "Bum." But so it had like just gotten dark, and I walked up, and I was actually amazed at how compressed the bodies were around the Steel Army tailgate. Like it must have filled in really fast at one point because it was cramped. Like you could barely walk around, and that was without Josh's table with the merch. And with only one table for food and drinks and whatnot, right? So it's like we were taking up a lot more space with bodies than we normally do, and it still felt really full. I think so like the tailgate, lots of fun. We had a blast. I think that one of the best things about it, though, was just how packed it was, right? So like we said, like, I mean, the Columbus game felt so packed. This was every bit as packed, but the energy was just insane throughout the night. I mean, and it sounds like other people think that too. I mean, somebody was right behind you and said it's a great atmosphere. So and I love that they call you out on being a chirper, but
I do. I try to come up with topical and witty and also esoteric things to yell at both. Listen, I try to focus on the opposing team and the opposing team's city. So, for example, there's only 2 cities in the United States who have managed to light their rivers on fire, and they both suck because one of them is Detroit and the other one's Cleveland. So
there you go. There you go.
So that's a fun one. Unfortunately, the ref found herself as the target of my ire as well, because like slightly talking about the game, we'll get back to the atmosphere. There was just some calls that I think on a player safety perspective that were missed, which is concerning, especially when, I don't know, the league's going through negotiations with the players union. I don't know. What do I know? I just wear a helmet. But back to the atmosphere. So, sorry. Go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I will give you some comments on the ref. I have a little bit of a different perspective, later. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But I think the ref was better than she felt, for sure. And I realized later in the game, I realized, okay, she's not as bad. I was complaining about her the whole first half, maybe first, even second half. And then as Laurel and I processed some of the calls she was making and stuff, we were like, oh, actually, she's actually been pretty good. So we'll come back to her. But yeah.
I mean, we had that conversation a little bit on our Slack that there were a couple things that I thought looked a little rough, or some calls that I thought shouldn't have been made, but you had a different take on those, Justin. And so, yeah, I just think like part of that's perspective, part of that's being at the field level versus seeing the camera and the replays. That's why they get paid to do it and we don't, because, much as we have all criticized the refs throughout our life, I don't think any of us would be any better.
Nope.
Having spent some time in the middle of the field, I can say that I definitely could not. So,
and that was with what, 5-year-olds, and you were still bad? No, just kidding.
Oh my God, that was like, no, I did intramurals too, which I was always the small guy, so it was rough. When half the players on the field are taller than you are, it's rough having to stand your ground because people will get in your face because you're small. Like they'll get in your face if you're big. I mean, like
yes. We got to talk about this game at some point.
But yeah,
I loved all the atmosphere chat that we're having, but we gotta talk about this game at some point in time. Yeah, I don't know. What are your guys' takeaways from the game, the play on the field that happened last night? And well, before I get there, I do have to say, because you kind of brought this up, Steve, you said this was without Josh's table. I feel awful for Mike and Josh. I mean, they've been doing this podcast for what, 10 years? Yeah. And never have they gotten to talk about a conference final. And somehow we finally get to a conference final. And look who's on the show. Sorry, guys. Mike, I feel like Mike and Josh need to do like a midweek special leading up to this game, just so they can have something to talk about when it comes to the Hounds making a conference final.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they should give us a history, but there is no history. We're not in this uncharted territory. Like we're off the edge of the map. Here they be monsters.
So Justin, you asked about like thoughts on this game. I think that the Hounds were by far the much sharper team going forward. I mean, I thought they looked really good throughout the night, had a number of really strong chances. I mean, Beto put one just over the bar. Sample had one just outside the top corner. Sample all had one outside the top corner. Sample had one saved. Mertz had a beautiful header saved. Augie had a goal called off. Barnes had a shot that could have been really good, but the player came in and blocked it. So many chances. I think that
Jockus in the post.
That's yep. So many chances. But I have to give credit to Detroit's defense because they made that job hard for the Hounds. That the Hounds still took 18 shots last night, but they had to take 12 of those from outside the box because they weren't finding the space in the box. And so it was a really good, fun game to watch for a 0-0, 120 minutes of play.
Yeah, absolutely. Mondo, what about you? What takeaways you got?
I mean, there's like a lot. I apologize. There's like, on the one hand, it was like awesome, right? Like if we weren't facing one of the best keepers in the league, and we can talk about that in a minute, but if we weren't facing one of the best keepers in the league, I feel like we would have scored a good few times. There was one where he literally stood on his head to keep the ball out. Like he had no business saving that ball, and he managed to get to it. And credit where credit's due. Detroit should thank their goalkeeper for making it to PKs.
Meanwhile, Eric Dick did save one with his literal face. So
Well, yes, I'm. Like that's not to say Eric Dick did nothing, but like, there's a lot to be said about Detroit hung their season on their goalkeeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes,
yeah. And outside of that, I'm afraid though. because PKs are almost a coin flip. And the more coin flips you go through, you know, like it just gets more and more nervy, right? And I just feel like we've reverted back to, we're kind of depending on one or two people to take on the box and the defensive line of the other team. And that worries me a little bit. That said, you know, we saw Etu driving past. We saw Augie take on a defensive line a few times. We saw Bertrand take on the line a few times, but never necessarily all at once. And that's like the, you know, if you're only doing pinpoint attacks at a defense can, you know, crowd that out and smother you. But if you're attacking from multiple angles at the same time, there were so many crosses also that I feel went for want of somebody just there in that space. And that's not to say that the Hounds played poorly. That's just to say that, you know, maybe there was just a little bit less aggressiveness just because they're not used to needing to be aggressive in the box.
I think you're definitely onto something. And I think the players would share that sentiment that despite, I think, what we have seen, what Rob Vincent has said, that for the players, from my conversations with them last night, they still feel like they're playing pretty much the same system, just with a lot more freedom. And so you've been playing, I mean, I think we talked about this last week or the week before. You've been playing most of the season. I mean, 27 games in the league, and then all the other games in this system that has not put a lot of bodies into the box. And so I don't expect that to change all of a sudden, right? Like, I think that that's a bigger off-season type change if given the opportunity. But you've got to go with the system that you've been playing with and know at this stage, right? Like 3 weeks before the postseason is not the time to make a massive tactical change. And I think everybody recognizes that. But I also think that that freedom that they've been getting really gives them the opportunity to excel. And that's why we're in this position, because we're keeping teams off the scoreboard and finding ways to get it done on the other end, even if it's after 120 minutes.
Yeah. Tactically, I think there's a piece there too of against a bunkering defense, which is what Detroit did for all of last night. You can't send everybody at once, because then you leave yourself open on the counter. And so I thought, especially, I guess an extra time when they pulled, who was that, Barnes off the field, and DG dropped into the center back line. Then they started taking more risk and almost playing a back four at times to try to get another player into the attack or another player on the attacking side of the field, with DG kind of coming off the back line, but then dropping back when he had to or needed to. And so I thought that kind of left that was a kind of wrinkle that was needed. And I think the Hounds almost took advantage of it a couple times. That's when Jockesen's shot, Mertz's header, all kind of came, all kind of came right in that space of time.
Yeah.
But it to me felt like DG dropping back, and I mean we can get into much deeper conversation of should it have been DG or should it have been Jackson, because I think we all think DG's best position is an attacking position, and once you have Walty out there, does DG really need to go that far back? But barring that, like, I think that's a big shout to, you know, our players are talented enough to go forward and win and score, even in a system that is maybe stale, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, Steve, you kind of alluded to it. I mean, lots of good chances on the night. Sample a couple minutes into the game, almost kind of the reverse of last week. Last week we almost got scored on a couple of minutes into the game, but got called off sides. But Sample kind of almost reversed that trend. Mertz had a open header, and put it across the net right where he needed to. And Saldana made a pretty good save there too. Jockeson off the post from point blank range. I was thinking about Josh all throughout the game last night because
Yep.
Mertz almost had a header goal, and
Yep.
DG got open in the box at one point and almost had a header goal. I was like, Josh would have fainted or something if either of those balls had gone in the back of the net. Like,
if Robbie had hit that header, I expected to see Josh having shown up right then, instantaneously running from Boston to Pittsburgh in record time, showing up to celebrate. Like that's how much, like, it was like, oh, Josh, that was almost everything you've ever dreamed of.
Yes.
I mean, it would not surprise me in the slightest to have a Mertz header win one of the next possibly 2 games.
Oh, for sure. He gets himself in great positions, but
Yeah. Yep.
the fact that he gets his head on the ball is just is crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, then we went to penalty kicks.
And then we went to penalty kicks. Well, I was gonna pause before we get there to talk about the ref for a second because we did have a little discussion on Augie's goal that got called off for a foul in the box, and where I think where my disagreement came last night after several comments were made on the Slack about I can't believe that got called a terrible call, all that kind of stuff. And I think it is one of those where Shane Wheat, former Hounds defender. I love when we play former Hounds defenders. It's crazy how good they still all are. But he's backing up. Augie's moving forward a little bit. Wheat feels a bump from the back and falls to the ground. And then Augie's left with kind of an open header for the goal. And I think, as much as I wanted that not to be called, I mean, I feel like it was a shoulder right to the middle of the spine. It was not a I don't know. It was not a shove, but it was a shoulder right to the middle of the spine, and then he ended up on the ground. So I don't know. As a ref, I don't know how you don't call that. And then here's my broader point about the ref in general is she was very hesitant to make a call. Yes. Which I actually greatly appreciate in this kind of game because it could have become very ticky-tacky last night where like everything was called and then the game gets decided on a stupid penalty or a free kick from right outside the box or all that kind of stuff. And what I appreciate about it is she was very consistent. She was very consistently not making calls. And it went both ways. Like both benches were mad at different times and all that kind of stuff. There was, I don't know if you guys caught this in the stadium. There was a moment in extra time where the ball went out of bounds, clearly a Hounds throw, and she sort of pointed the Detroit way, and everybody, I mean, the Hounds bench went crazy. Like, all
the stadium was done with her by that point.
And all she was actually signaling was the substitution that Detroit was about to make. And so she was pointing to midfield to make the substitution. So she had already made the throw call. And so she went over to Rob. She's like, I already made the throw call. I'm letting them make a substitution. And they all calmed right back down and got back in their seats. Like, they're like, okay. Like, it was a pretty funny moment, actually. But I thought she was pretty good on the night. And even the announcers were like, she was really good on the night. She was just very consistent. You want player safety. I mean, I get that argument, Mondo, but I also don't want these kind of games to turn into a player.
No, I agree with that. But my problem is when you're having a high risk tackle that a player goes studs up on another player, I don't care whose side that should be a foul. Unfortunately, that happened in the box, and it really felt like in the attacking third. I will agree. She was very hesitant to make a foul call in the attacking third, unless, I mean, there was a few she called, but she was very hesitant to do anything in the attacking third. And yet there was a few where there was actually a Detroit player who tripped over the turf or his own toe, and she called a foul on the Hounds. There was not a single Hounds player within 10 feet of that man, and she called a Hounds foul. And it was stuff like that, like, that set the Homes fans against her, but then her lack of calls for what Detroit felt were justified things. She made no friends in that stadium tonight. You know, again, it's a hard job. It's very tough, but it's also very impressive when you're hated by everybody by the end of the night. Like, normally you walk away from a game and you're like, okay, you know, we could have had, you know, some calls went one way, some calls went the other. This was kind of a situation. Even some of the players felt they were hard done, and that this ref has a history of that with this team.
Yeah, my take is there were some things that I didn't see what I think she saw. From my angle, which was the opposite angle that she had on when Barnes got the foul in the opposition box. To me, it looked a lot more like he was winding up for the shot and the guy came in out of nowhere. But I was also trying to capture a moment on video, right? So I'm not like fully like seeing all the pieces. But I think what I do appreciate about it is she called a game that I do agree with Justin that it was consistent throughout. If she missed calls, she missed calls both ways. If she made calls, she made calls both ways. But what she didn't do, she didn't make a call that drastically changed the game by giving a team the opportunity to get a goal that they shouldn't have gotten. Either way, right? Like, and I think that that's a fine line to balance, that you've got to call what happens in front of you, and sometimes you let things go. But if you're getting too sensitive to things and the ref becomes the storyline about why somebody won rather than why we didn't win, I think that's a really different feel for me. So I'll take that over some other times where I felt like the ref gave them the game.
Yeah, and there was a lot of other calls I thought she could have made that she didn't, that I was very appreciative that she didn't make the calls. I think one being towards the end of the game when Wheat and Augie got in each other's faces on kind of a pretty innocuous play that, you know, they both jumped up, shoved a little bit, all that kind of stuff, and she settled it down really quickly. We got back to playing, you know, and I think it's those types of things that I especially at these high level games when we're, you know, and in the middle of the season, sure, make a call there, give some yellow cards, you know, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, in this type of game, people are feisty. Just control just control what's happening on the field. And then let's get back to playing the game, you know, like we don't need to give crazy cards and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I appreciated some of the calls that she made for sure. I will say her best call of the night happened in PKs when she had to remind several Detroit players that you can't put the ball in front of this. You actually have to put it on the spot, and that's a real thing. You got it.
There's
my
a reason
favorite
it's a
thing-
line. It's a mark.
Oh, my
Ball
favorite
has to
thing
touch
about that moment was I was right there and could see it all. And she says something to him, and he picks the ball up and moved it a millimeter and puts it back down. And then she's forward. Like turning around. Yes. And then it rolls over a little bit. Right. And then he like steps back and she says it to him again. And he acts like it's the most like obscene, ridiculous request that he has ever had in his life. It was just hilarious to watch because she didn't buy it. Right. She was just like, no, fix it. And he still probably needed to pull it back another 2 inches or so. But like, it was just, you could see it. She was just not happy with him, and he tried to make it something way more, but it was just no effort to actually follow it. Yeah.
Because
so we get to the.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Mono. No,
I was going to say, like a time like that is not the time to throw a tantrum, because that's when you just get handed an automatic miss. And when you're in PKs, when you're in coin flip territory, you don't want the flip against you.
Yeah. So I would love to know a little bit from you guys of like, all right, so Robbie steps up and doesn't get it to the edge of the goal the way he needed to, put it at perfect keeper height, you know, waist height where a keeper can make a pretty easy save. Anybody else nervous when that happened?
Oh yeah. The first not goal of a PK, whenever the first not goal of a PK shootout is your team, it's nervy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
like I mean, it was just, oh crap. I mean, especially because the kick right before that, Eric got his hands to, but couldn't keep it out. Right. And so it's like he had the chance, and you're like, oh, that's a missed opportunity there. And then Robbie steps up and it's saved. And you're like, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh crap. Right. Like, this is it. Like, Detroit's going to get us, and this is going to suck.
Yep. But then Amamenta steps up, and for all of his antics all game long, dings one off the post. He rattled the post for sure. Like, that one was firmly on the post.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that thing ended up back at midfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was thinking, if that's a PK during a game, that's probably right back in the net, because there's a whole load of people crashing right after that who are probably getting their foot on that and putting it right back.
Or it just takes a weird deflection and it goes in
Yeah.
just because of the force of that kick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But you can't touch it again after you kicked it once in a PK shootout, thankfully, very much. And then Ryan Williams on the very next kick dings one off the crossbar, trying to go up top right corner, and hits the crossbar. And up steps Beto Edrich, who didn't get to take his PK last week, but he put it home this time, and the Hounds win.
Oh,
Man.
It was okay. So I guess we just gotta go for it, right?
Sports.
Even in the
Amazing.
What? Okay, great. This is going live tomorrow, and I don't care because I've got this video and I got access to upload it. So this guy's going sports after that.
Oh man.
So my thing with that, right? Like, that's my view in the moment. That's what I saw. It was fantastic. But as I go back and watch it, it's watching some of the things that I didn't notice right away, right? Like the sheer ecstasy some of the guys have in the moment. And then like the moments of just like stopping and it just like hitting them what it actually means, right? Like I think I really saw that with Danny, where it's like his first reaction is just sheer joy. And then you just see him pause and he's just like awestruck. He's like, oh my gosh, right? And that was, I think, the reaction from all of them after the game, just like completely pumped or just completely like, this is really happening. It was insane.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things, well, I think two. One, the broadcast camera I loved, because Augie just came up and grabbed the broadcast camera that they were broadcasting from on ESPN. You just see him like scream into the camera, celebrating as the guys are celebrating, stuff like that. But what I thought was most interesting about the celebrations, I think, is you wonder, in a moment like that, what does Robbie Mertz do? And I'm pretty sure he just fell down at midfield when the ball went in. I don't think he made the run to the goal to celebrate, because I think the emotional relief, that like is off of his shoulders, thinking like, I just lost us this game, and the fact that they come back in the shootout and win. Several, my wife having the empathy that she does, it was like, somebody go pick Robbie up. Somebody go pick Robbie up. but you see like multiple players then come around him and like give him big hugs and like, hey, it's okay. Like we get to go on the next week. We get to do this again.
We're still playing,
you know,
and
it's really
I
cool.
think for me, like one of the most telling things about that moment was like you can tell from that clip just how much it means to each and every one of the players to have like made it A, this far, and B, to have won it and go the next step.
Yeah.
Like they were all like, it means so much. Like,
yeah. I don't know if you guys got to see the post-game interviews from last night. But I chuckled when I was watching Rob Vincent's because he's like, they made the announcement that Rhode Island won and that the winner would be hosting them. He's like, and I was like, did they just jinx it? Right? Like, he's like, but now we get to play again, right? Like, it's just like the sheer joy that everybody is having is just absolutely amazing at this point. And I guess that's kind of my takeaway, right? Like talking to the guys a few months ago, talking to the guys last season, compared to talking to the guys the past couple of weeks, of just the attitude, and even one of the players saying like last year in Charleston, they were just so exhausted, so mentally tired. Like there just was like, it doesn't matter. We win, great. We lose, whatever. Like at least then we get to go home. Whereas tonight, like last night, they were excited. They were thrilled. They're like, yeah, we want to go. Like we're here. We're together. We are having fun. We're having a blast. Like we're doing this because we are really enjoying ourselves. Such a different feel than anything I've ever felt from the players, from the coaching staff. Like it is just, I wish that I could articulate fully like the difference that I see, and I just don't even know how, because it's so divergent from some of the past.
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, to me it's one of those things of, it feels like even from a fan perspective, it just feels like the weight is off, you know. And it's like, you know, the thought that I kept having today as I was replaying last night in my head multiple times is like, it's all to play for now. Like it's all there. Like it's sitting on the Hounds plate with you know, like you can take it. We've got a game next week that you're going to have 6,000, 7,000 some people in the stadium. You know, and you got a chance to beat a team that you've already beaten a couple times this season, and you can keep going, and you can decide that Albert Dequa doesn't need to beat you. And here, you know, it's like all these things that you have in front of you now, and it just feels like, man, you know, so many times as a Hounds fan, we get to this moment this season, it's like, well, they're gonna lose, you know. Oh, all right, here we are again, we're gonna lose. But it's just like, all right, maybe not, maybe we won't, maybe it's our year, maybe this is it. I don't know.
I don't want to hope.
I mean, Justin, you asked like at the beginning about like the environment, but I think that's for me the one thing that is so different feeling, right? Like having these conversations with the players and the coaches and people on staff with the Hounds, that I went into last night like, sure, I'm nervous about like, are they going to win? Are they not? Like, do they advance or do they not? But like, I didn't have this sense of dread of going into a playoff game that I have had for the past 7 seasons, right? Like it was just so different because I see such a difference in the players and the staff and the organization that is just so much fun. And oh my gosh, like hearing you say playing again next week, right? Like, yes, I've been thinking about that for the past 24 hours. It just like, it's just like, that hit me a little bit more as you just said that. It's just like amazing.
It's one more week until I can put the suit and mothballs for the season. Like
2 more weeks, baby. 2 more weeks. You're wearing that to whatever watch party.
No, I cannot. I've never worn it for an away game. I can't start now.
Okay.
I'll wear it to a parade, but I'm not wearing it to a watch party.
So who's your player of the game, Drew?
Oh. You know, I'm gonna take the easy one on this one. I'm gonna say Eric Dick.
Okay.
Because he broke up a lot of chances that Detroit had. And I mean, that's not to take any credit away from the defense, but like his presence was felt. And love to have that with a goalkeeper.
Yep. Justin, who you picking?
Yeah, I told Laura Ellen I was going to do this last night, and I got to stick with it. I can't think of anybody else. I can't think of a player I'd rather put on this like top three. Brad Sample was class last night. I mean, absolutely, he played a master class of a game in midfield. There were so many times where Detroit was one pass, one touch from getting out of their defensive third, and he was like, "Nope, we're keeping the ball we're keeping the ball up here. Like whether you like it or not, we're gonna keep it here." And man, he was absolute class all night long.
I agree 100% with that. My like kind of honorable mention, I think again, is Sean Suber just leading the defense. But it's more than just the things that he does in terms of the actual play. It's the attitude and the leadership that I've really started to notice over the past few weeks of just complete poise in almost every situation. And he's fun to watch. But Brad Sample, I mean, for me, played one of the best midfield performances I've ever seen from a Hounds midfielder. He was just so insane every time he had a chance to make an interception or step up to a ball, or but also doing it at both sides, right? I mean, he had a few chances where he was going forward. That really early 2-minute shot that was close. Took a good save, right? And then a few other ones where he had some passes that broke some lines or took really good defensive plays to keep our attackers from getting the ball. And so I struggle to find a moment where Brad Sample made a mistake last night.
I think it's the strength of our long-haired midfielder.
Dude, that lettuce
we
is
can only
back
have
and
one
it's
at
beautiful.
a time. Like when Walty had the long hair, he was king of the midfield. He cut his hair. Brad grew his out. Now Brad's king of the midfield. Like
Brad is proud of his regrown lettuce, and
yeah.
And what I love about it is not only did he regrow the hair, but he has got the shaggy beard now to go along with it, and it's marvelous. So, all right. So
I will say, so Steve, I wanted to agree with you. I wanted to agree with you about Suber. I think to go into a game like this, what could be the third to last game of the season, and get a new center back partner who has not played there since week 5, week 6, something like that. And have, Biazzi step in the way that he did, and I think, there was times last night where Vactor's presence was missed. I don't know that I would have said that at the beginning of the season or felt like, oh, there's going to be a game where we're going to miss Vactor. And we didn't. I mean, it wasn't like things fell apart without him there. But I think, man, the fact that Biazzi just steps in, Suber still leads the line super well. Perrin steps in and plays the wing. Yeah. There was not, all that to say, there was not a player on the field that I was like, oh, they had a terrible game. So yeah. It's hard picking a top 3 when everybody had a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, and we can't go without mentioning the winning PK scorer, Beto, who just a few weeks ago played against Lionel Messi, and now it's like, holding down the defensive line here.
I want to comment on that aspect of it, that he got asked that during the post-game interviews. And I really appreciated his response to that. Took it really well, because it's a weird question, I think, to ask a player playing in the USL. You defended Messi. What was that like? What'd you learn? Right. But just absolute class in his answer. So if you haven't seen it, go find it, and it's on YouTube and watch it, because I think he exuded professionalism in it's not even close, but you know what? I did what I needed to do, and I didn't feel like I was an imposter. So a guy that I really, really look forward to seeing again next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, gentlemen, we've got Rhode Island. How did we get here? Well, we know how we got here. How did they get here? They had a 4-2-2 run at the end of the season in the league to get into that 8th seed spot. Or 7th seed spot, sorry. And then they knocked out Charleston in a 3-5 PK win. So Charleston didn't get to take their 5th PK because they were already out. And then last night, it took a brace from a very dear friend of the pod who has moved on, Albert Diqua, came in the 75th minute and changed that game for them, scoring in the 81st and 90+3 minutes. This year, we beat them both games in the league, 1-0 away, 2-0 at home. But after that 1-0 away win, they came to us the following week in the Jägermeister Cup and beat us 1-0 at Highmark. We still have the edge, 3 wins, 1 tie, and 1 loss in the past 2 seasons against them. This is a team that they played in the final last year after taking out Louisville and Charleston and Indy on their road there. So I think that this is a team that a lot of those players were there last year. They haven't had a lot of changes that have been here before and have done this before. And so going into their second chance at this, I think they're going to be hungry. Whereas the Hounds, like we talked about, this is our first time at this stage, but we are hosting and we've got a environment that I think is so different than anything we've ever had. And so I guess all of that to say, how do you feel about next week, Justin, going into this game with all that context and other thoughts that you have about it?
I mean, actually, I feel really confident. I think, the Fort Highmark moniker is well earned, and it continues to be, after some faltering at the beginning of this season, some last season, like it has been a hard place for teams to come and play. Now that being said, Rhode Island has knocked some teams out of their home stadiums before and has done it to us. So, I don't think, nothing's easy at this point. Nothing, everything's hard at this point. And so I think, but the guys should take a lot of confidence in what they've done over the last couple of weeks and how they can continue to move forward. And so I think it is, like Laura Ellen said, can you find a goal in regulation? Like, can you put one in the back of the net? Because it's been 3 weeks since we've scored one in a game. So, it's like, we got to be able to find a goal at some point in time. But you feel really good about the defensive nature of this team. I will say, I told Laura Ellen last night toward the end of the game, once they announced that Rhode Island had already won, I was like, I don't think I can take a semifinal against Albert Diqua and his diving for 90 minutes. This is gonna. He's like the best
like Detroit
ever
all
at
over
it.
again.
It's worse than Detroit. He's good at it. Detroit wasn't good at it. Diqua is good at it.
And we've reaped the benefits in the past of that skill.
I mean, hopefully the refs are on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, that's what we've got. Drew, other thoughts on going into next week?
I mean, listen, this is all uncharted territory, right? Like the expectations at this point is we've already made history. So, like in one sense, the stress is kind of off. We broke the glass ceiling that we've made for ourselves. It's the good nervous. I got the good nervous for next week. There's no reason we shouldn't win, but then at the same time, there's plenty of reason why we shouldn't win. But at the same time, and the last 2 weeks have just been so much fun. Like, I don't know that we've had this much fun at Highmark Stadium
Yep.
like all season, and it's been a blast. And I
This
just
is
wanted to keep
great.
going.
Yeah,
I just- like,
Oh man. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. No, I think I agree. I don't know what's going to happen, but I will not be surprised to be talking about the Hounds going to the final a week from now. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're saying, hey, that was a great run and we did more than we ever did. And it stinks to go out however it goes down, right? Like either of those outcomes are very real. But I got to look at this past 5 weeks and just be like, this is the most fun I've ever had following the Hounds. This is the most fun I've had watching the players interact with each other, with the staff, with the fans, right? Like it's just such a different environment. And we talked about this years ago, right? Like crazy fun times, high scoring games, right? Like I will take these types of games where people are having fun, enjoying themselves, doing what they do best. And the results don't always go your way, but you're in it together with your teammates, with your coaches, with your fans. Give me more of this, right? Like that's my thing. And so whatever happens next week, I'm just like, hey, like this is a crazy, crazy end to the season, and I love it. So,
oh yeah, and what a showcase for soccer for Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
Like,
yep,
like this is soccer. This
Yeah.
is playoff soccer. Like it should be exciting.
yep,
And that's what everybody is seeing of this team now.
Yeah.
And that's great because that means more people are going to come.
yep. So, well, guys, we've talked for an hour, so we're going to call it here. Thank you all who joined us live, and those of you who listen. You know how to get a hold of us on all the social media. Please stay in touch. Let us know your thoughts because you've now heard ours. And you know what? We got one more playoff game at home this season. So bring your friends out. I will do my best to work on getting all of our Mongols team there. And we'll continue to convince them that they should come because it's going to be a blast. If we think last night was crazy, I can't imagine what it's going to feel like on Saturday. But yeah, like, thanks all for watching, for listening, and we will see you all really, really soon.
This is the way.